So I'm going to be changing out the tender springs on my shocks. They're currently flapped out like completely. They're gone, and the suspension is down to 12.5 inches in the back, 12 in the front for clearance. So she's sagging worse than a wannabe jailbird. So these are going to be our new parts. Run-of-the-mill Super ATV tender springs, and I also got some limit straps because I want to connect the sway bars. I don't want to without damaging the shocks. Plus, on the occasion when I do jump it, I don't want to damage shocks. You get it. So I thought it was going to be really straightforward about just pull the shocks, compress them. I got Harbor Freight. We're going to find out how well that works. Spring compressor for the struts. But looking at this, I think it's going to be real hard to get up in the front shocks there. I've never done this before. So I think that, especially since I don't need to get the limit straps on there, it's gonna make more sense for me to pull the plastic off. I think I'll spend less time taking the plastic off, putting it back on, than I will cussing and fighting those top bolts on the front shocks to get the shock back out, get the new hardware, all that stuff on. So I'm gonna get it up in the air. I'm gonna get it all the way up in the air because I'm gonna rotate tires while I'm at it. Might as well. And then I'm gonna start pulling plastics. I might actually have some help on this from my buddy Dustin. He might stop out and give me a hand with it. He's never done it before too, so maybe we'll learn it together. And so yeah, that's the plan. Hopefully it goes out good. I got everything all jacked up, got all the claws off. I'm gonna rotate the tires while I'm at it. But I got one shock off. I thought I was gonna have to take the plastics apart because boy, that bolt is way up in there. But which is nice. Nobody likes taking plastics off. So I'm just gonna start taking it apart. This isn't really about how to take shocks off. It's more about just putting the new springs on. These are the rears, the fronts are out here. I tried washing them off some first, but yeah, so we're getting ready to tear apart the rear. That's my buddy Dustin. Say hi, Dustin.
Hi.
No, you're supposed to say hi, Dustin. So
hi, Dustin.
Yeah, they're very clever. Okay, so this is our setup. I watched a video once on how to do this. And so we're gonna see if we can figure out what's what. I believe I need to measure this distance here. at, what does that say? About 7 and 5/8. I think the first thing I'll probably do is get the stress spring compressors on. I don't know, seems like a logical place to start. And then we'll back this off so that we can take the keeper out of the bottom. That's the idea anyway. And this is just a Harbor Freight stress spring compressor tool.
Oh, sounds grimy. Oh, geez. You got the rubber grommet up there? Just push that rubber bushing down. If mine move, I don't know about yours. Just gotta go far enough to get it to go past that.
I just feel like we need to smack that sometime.
This is like handling a loaded gun right now.
I know, I'm more nervous about it too. There's not like, honestly, there's not much pressure on it. Well, not that I know.
I'm scared.
Today, Junior?
Yep. What I'm looking at. But hopefully it's good.
This is like UTV racer stuff.
Yeah. The only... Yeah, that's going to be the problem.
Yeah.
Which, it's not that big of a problem. It's just going to be holding.
Until we get the spring.
Right, it's just going to be holding it. Because we got to get that spring to... Right underneath. Yeah. Oh, I guess, yeah, you can just do that. Just like that. Well, your collar's... Yeah, there you go. Now it's on. So before you relax that, I would set your... This...
Yeah, to the...
Right. That was all for show. That's all that was.
What did I write down? 7 and 5/8.
on your drone, have you ever used? I imagine you bought the one that came with the 3 batteries and the charger. Have you ever gone through those 3 batteries?
They don't last very long.
No?
No.
So it says like 36 minutes on.
And I think that might be flight time. If you're running the camera, that's gonna use more juice too.
Okay, so it's worth it to buy the 3 batteries with it. So now it should just be relaxing that spring, right? As long as you got your right height right. You want me to hold it? I wanted to hold the loaded gun.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at this. Compared to this.
Yeah, top is
Is it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. You know better than I do.
No, I don't know better.
You stare at your machine more than what I do, so.
It's because I knock it so much.
What are you looking for?
I'm just looking for anything that we might have forgot to put back in there. I don't think there is.
Doesn't look like it. I like how you put the pins in on one side and not the other side.
I didn't put the pins, they fell in on me.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I don't care.
I enjoyed it. Damn it. I thought it was kind of fun.
Remember last time the pins were in, we didn't think we'd get it back.
Right. That's because I played with it.
Yeah, touching stuff that doesn't belong to you.
Exactly. I learned a valuable lesson today. Don't touch Jason's tools unless he tells you it's okay.
There's no preload on it right now. Even though, so we're coming down more on that. I don't know.
Which we should have compared the spring size, the height, seeing if they were different. Because I think actually this
one might be stiffer, but this one might have more of a travel to it.
Well, I think the Super ATV one is actually shorter. You got another one over there?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's gonna change.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. But
Well,
I know there needs to be some preload on it.
Well, what you could do is measure the difference, kinda, of where you were at compared to the old ones, and add that to your overall height.
Oh, it seems like these ones aren't necessary. Doesn't it?
Well, you also don't know how much this would expand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The spring itself. Well, and some of that's gonna change when you go to bolt it back in.
Yeah, and I mean this can be adjusted while it's on the machine too.
Right.
So.
Right. I mean, if you feel like you need more ride height, all you have to do is jack that. Right.
Yeah.
Not jack it,
all
but
you
screw it in.
all you gotta do is jack it so that it comes up. Is that what you're trying to say?
Screw it in. Screw it down.
You gotta jack it so it comes up. You're nasty.
I didn't catch what he was saying.
Yeah, because you're stupid.
Right.
Okay, it's a change of venue, and a week later, we got tired of filming, or videoing, I guess I should say, pretty quick last weekend, and decided just to drink beer and turn wrenches. So, here's a rundown of what we got done. We got the new springs in. We got limit straps on. Limit straps, they go on the outside of the shock. These came with these clips to keep it from getting into the tire. Obviously you can't put it on the inside of the shock because one, there's a lot going on back here, and two, on this side you've got the exhaust there waiting to burn it all up. So that's pretty much the gist of it. It was really easy to do. On the backs you could probably do it without actually taking the shock all the way off. You could probably just drop the bottom bolt and put the compressor on while the weight of the vehicle is on it, and then crank down the compressor a little bit, and then once you jack it up, all of this becomes loose. And then you can take the retainer off the bottom, drop all the springs off, reload it with your new tender springs, and then you're good to go. Up front, it's a little bit different because it's so tight up there. I was worried that I would have to take off plastics to get to that bolt. That wasn't the case. There's just enough room up there to get to it. Getting the longer bolt and the spacer in for, you probably can't see. Getting the longer bolt in and the spacer up there for the limit straps was kind of a bitch, but you know, you can do it. I think it's gonna be a little harder to set the final ride height on the front. That's why I'm out here at the off-road park. It's a slow day. It's been raining for the last couple of days, so hopefully it's not too muddy. But I want to bounce it around some and get mostly the springs kind of shook down a little bit so that I can set my ride height and be confident that whatever I set is because everything's happy with where it's at. So. Okay, it's a couple days later from the park. We're back home. She's all cleaned up. I managed not to trash it pretty all that bad with the mud. But now I couldn't get an idea of what it was like with no sway bar, other than the fact that it performs way better in the trails. Anything twisty, it doesn't teeter totter. It's just, I mean, obviously that's the whole point of taking the sway bar off, but I was pleasantly surprised. But I didn't get a chance to go to the practice track and just see how bad it was in the turns. I want to do a final adjustment on suspension, then maybe go back in a couple days. It's been nice and dry this week, so that we can see about getting just an impression on how it rolls in the turns. So anyway, I'm going to do the final adjustment. Right now I'm at like, was it 14 1/4 in the back and 13 1/4 in the front. I want to raise the rear up to probably 15 1/2. Stock is 14 1/2, but I've got 32-inch tires versus the 30s, so it seems to me that I should be at 15 1/2. Then that would have the suspension at the stock geometry. And same with the front. I'm just gonna set it level. Some guys like to have the front end up a little bit. I'm not too worried about that. I've got all my junk in the back here that I usually carry. I've got my gear case, and I've got a sprayer bottle of water for rinsing off when you get all dusty and stuff. I got a cooler that right now it's just full of water to simulate all of the sparkling water and iced tea that I bring with me on rides. And in this box is, ow, that's gonna bleed. I've got a bash plate that I'm gonna weld in coming up soon. But that's 20 pounds of steel. So I wanted all that stuff sitting on there so that when I get the suspension set, it's where it's gonna be when I'm operating it. So basically I've already got some things set up here with the spring compressors. I'm gonna set up the camera and get to work. Fuck, that hurt. Alright, so I've got the spring compressors set up. Man, when I stuck my hand in that box trying to pull out a piece of that bash plate, I got a goddamn staple from the box right underneath my fingernail. Not a great way to start this out. Anyway, with the weight on the machine, just again these cheap Harbor Freight spring compressors, I'm going to compress them down a bunch, a little at a time each side. I'm not real sure how much I need to. I'm not real sure how much I'm going to need to turn this to get another 1.5 inches. I'm probably just going to turn it up another inch and then see where we're at. If I'm close enough, then close enough is close enough. It's not like I'm working on a space shuttle here or racing or anything. I want as much height as I can get without changing the geometry, because the way I see it, all of the links and everything, I don't know. I'll have to cut that out. That was stupid. Cut that out, Jason. So obviously what we're doing here is we're compressing the spring on top of where it was already compressed with the weight of the car on it. Car, buggy, machine, whatever you want to call them. And then once I jack it up, all of this should come pretty loose. Have a look in here. All right, so tires off the ground. You can see that we've got plenty of room here. I'm not putting jack stands under it. I did put wheel chocks, but I have a very specific reason why I don't want to put jack stands under here, and it's mostly because I don't feel like it. So yeah, that's yeah, I like to live dangerously. So in any case, let me get a tape. Going to, right now I'm at, looks like 8 3/8. So I'm gonna spin the collar out to 9 3/8, do the same on the other side, and hopefully that's all it takes. Should be close enough for what I'm hoping to get out of this. And you can already see the limiting strap, it keeps the shock. I mean, you probably know what a limiting strap does, but it's nice knowing that it keeps it from maxing out the shock when it still has an inch of travel left. So okay, that's 9 3/8. I'm not going to show you doing the other side because you can see it's pretty simple. One thing to remember, when you let it down, do it slowly so that the spring can settle into the retainer there, and it doesn't bind up. Okay, so that's something to consider. I'm going to try and compress these down quite a bit more than I did the back. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but since the spring is so much shorter and there's no room up there, I've got my factory supplied tool to get up in there, but there just isn't much room to work. So the looser the little collar is, I don't know if you can see that, the looser that is, the better. Uh-oh. Okay. Damn it. Oops, wrong way. All right, let's jack her up and see if we've got any clearance there. All right, so that's that. Oh, we do have a little bit of play. Now, I don't know how much to come down on this. I needed, like, geez, another 2 inches up front. That seems excessive, but there's geometry and there's angles and probably a little bit of science somewhere. So I'm gonna come down an inch on it because I think it's probably compounded by where the shock hooks onto the A-arm and stuff like that. So we're gonna, oh, I need a first measurement. Well, this is almost impossible to do. So, God damn it. Well, I'm just gonna measure from here to the top of the spring. It's, what is that, 3 1/8? So we'll go down to 4 1/8. See what we can get by hand. Jesus, that was only like 1/8 of an inch. Oh, I messed up the measurements. Big surprise. But we got the easy part out of the way. Come on. Now we creep around in here with this and do it the hard way. Got a ways to go. Okay, there it is, all adjusted. I still gotta tie up my straps here, but we've got 15 in the front inches and 15 1/4 back. I'm happy with that, being on 32s, and I've got all my gear in back as well. I'm sure if I took that out I'd probably get another 1/4 inch or so. In any case, I'm done fucking with this, pardon my French. It's time to move on to something else. I'm gonna go out hopefully to the off-road park. Right now, today's Wednesday. Hopefully I'll go out there on Friday and see how it is without the sway bar. It started raining here just about 10 minutes ago, but there's no rain in the forecast, so the practice track should be dry, and I can really kind of shake her down. I guess the next I'll see you is out there. Video, the straps, they collect a lot of debris around the shock. I'm interested in protecting the chrome on the shaft, so I decided to put some protectors on the shocks to try to avoid that. But you still have to be able to tie the strap back, or else it'll come over and it'll get in. I'm sure you've seen advertisements for these Seal Savers. I got it set for the front and the rear. What I did to get around tying it back was just got some of these. Let me get this thing off of here. I think they call them bungee balls. Works pretty good, and now I can protect that shock and have my straps. I think it's going to work out pretty well. Okay, so I guess that's gonna wrap it up for this project. My advice is pull your front sway bar. The performance in like real off-road situations, I mean, the park that I go to is pretty tame, but it lets you twist it up pretty good. It was night and day difference for me. It's a free mod. I can put the sway bar back on whenever I want to. It's super easy to take out on these Pro XPs. I don't know about other machines, but I can't imagine that it's all that difficult. I'd put it back in, I think, if I was going to go to like sand dunes or something where I plan on just running flat out and I don't need like the extra articulation up front. I tried to show a little bit of like turning out at the park, but that day was pretty busy and I don't think anybody would steal my camera, but I didn't want to set it up on a tripod and then go around a track. My luck, I'd come back and it had wandered off. So take my word for it or don't. I like it. I think that it was a good decision. I hear a lot more clicking and popping from the suspension. I don't know if that's just because there isn't the regular tension on everything that you would have with the sway bar, but I'm gonna take it all. I'm gonna pull the wheels and like do a whole nut and bolt check since I had the shocks out, and now I've kind of shook it down a little bit. I did notice when I was out there and it was muddy, and I decided to kind of feeder the beans getting up the hill, that you'll get, or you can get, some front end wheel hop. I felt that it was unexpected because I never felt it before, and I just think that that's because the sway bar isn't helping to dampen things up there. So consider that. But yeah, all in all, I'm really happy with it. I'm happy with the tender springs. I can finally go over things without scraping all the time, and it's sitting back up where it should be. So I think that's all I have to say about that.
That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, she's home, she's clean. I've got other projects that I hope to get to pretty soon, and I hope that you enjoyed the video for what it is. It's not instructional, it's just maybe you see something that is helpful. In any case, thanks, and maybe I'll make another one. Take care.